Have you ever wondered why we celebrate Christmas on December 25th? It wasn't always this way. Our story begins in the ancient times, long before the birth of Christ. The exact date of Jesus' birth has been a topic of debate for centuries. Despite countless hours spent by historians and theologians, the actual date remains shrouded in mystery. Some suggest spring, others autumn, but the truth is, we just don't know. Now you might be thinking, if we don't know when Jesus was born, why do we celebrate Christmas on December 25th? It's a good question, and the answer might surprise you. Let's take a step back in time to the days of ancient Rome, a time of emperors and gladiators, of grand feasts and lavish festivals. One of these festivals was Saturnalia, a celebration honoring Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture. Saturnalia was a time of merriment, marked by gift-giving, feasting, and a temporary inversion of social roles where slaves were treated as equals. Saturnalia kicked off on December 17th and lasted for about a week, often extending up to December 25th. Now, isn't that interesting? The timing of this joyous Roman festival coincides quite neatly with our modern Christmas celebrations. Could it be that the early church, in an attempt to convert the pagans, chose December 25th to coincide with Saturnalia? It's a theory that holds water. After all, what better way to persuade people to embrace a new religion than by aligning it with their existing festivities? The church, despite its best efforts, couldn't pinpoint the exact date of Jesus' birth. So, they had to make a decision, and what did they decide? They chose a date already steeped in celebration, a day that the masses were already accustomed to marking with joy and cheer. So, when the church couldn't find the real birth date of Jesus, they decided to assign one, and what better than a day already filled with merriment and celebration? Did you know that for a long time, Christmas wasn't even a widely celebrated holiday? It may be a surprise to many, but the sparkly, joy-filled celebration we know today was not always held in such high regard. In the early days of Christianity, the birth of Christ wasn't commemorated as a standalone holiday. In fact, many early church leaders didn't consider Jesus' birth as an event to be celebrated at all. They focused more on his baptism, which was deemed far more significant. During this time, the precise date of Jesus' birth was also a topic of great debate. The adoption of December 25th as the official date of Christ's birth by the Western Church in the 4th century was a crucial turning point. However, this decision wasn't universally embraced. Some Eastern churches continued to celebrate Jesus' birth on January 6th, a tradition that persists in some places till this day. The road to wide acceptance of Christmas was rocky. In certain periods and places it was even banned. For instance, in 17th century England, the Puritans, who were in power, viewed it as a decadent Catholic tradition and prohibited its celebration. Fast forwarding to the United States, Christmas wasn't universally celebrated until much later. It was only in the mid-19th century that it began to gain popularity. The transformation of Christmas into a family-centered festival of goodwill and merriment, a change largely influenced by the works of authors like Charles Dickens, played a significant role in its acceptance. The final stamp of approval came in 1870 when President Ulysses S. Grant declared Christmas a federal holiday. This official recognition marked the end of a long journey from obscurity and controversy to widespread acceptance and celebration. So, from being a frowned-upon celebration to becoming a federal holiday, Christmas certainly has had a fascinating journey. Santa Claus, the jolly gift-bringer, wasn't always the red-suited, white-bearded man we know today. In fact, the evolution of Santa Claus is a fascinating journey through history, culture, and commercial influences. Our story begins in the 4th century with a generous Greek bishop named Saint Nicholas. Known for his benevolence and kindness, Saint Nicholas was particularly fond of children and often gave out gifts to the needy. His legend spread throughout Europe, and he became a beloved figure of folklore, especially in the Netherlands, where he was known as Sinterklaas. Fast forward to the 17th century when Dutch immigrants brought the tradition of Sinterklaas to the New World. Over time, Sinterklaas was anglicized to Santa Claus, but he was still far from the jolly, rotund figure we know today. Instead, he was often depicted as a tall, thin, stern bishop who rewarded good children and punished the naughty ones. In the early 19th century, American writers and artists began to reimagine Santa Claus. Washington Irving described him as a plump, jolly Dutchman in his 1809 book, Knickerbocker's History of New York. Then, in 1823, Clement Clarke Moore's poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, more commonly known as The Night Before Christmas, further popularized the image of Santa as a jolly old elf with a round belly. But the Santa Claus we associate with today, complete with his red suit and white beard, didn't come into being until the 20th century. This modern image of Santa Claus was largely shaped by commercial influences, particularly Coca-Cola. In the 1930s, Coca-Cola commissioned illustrator Haddon Sundblom to create a series of Christmas advertisements featuring Santa Claus. Sundblom's Santa was a cheerful, plump man in a red suit, and this image rapidly gained popularity and became the definitive portrayal of Santa Claus. So the Santa Claus we know and love today is a blend of commercial, cultural, and historical influences, far removed from the original Saint Nicholas. He's evolved from a 4th century Greek bishop to a universal symbol of generosity and goodwill, bringing joy to millions around the world every Christmas. Ever wondered why we decorate Christmas trees or hang stockings by the fireplace? Let's delve into the rich tapestry of Christmas traditions, each one with a story as unique as the baubles on a Christmas tree. Picture this. The tradition of decorating a Christmas tree dates back to the 16th century in Germany. It began with devout Christians who decorated evergreen trees in their homes. Some even built Christmas pyramids of wood and adorned them with evergreens and candles. As this tradition traveled across oceans and centuries, it evolved, with each culture adding its own touch, resulting in the vibrant and diverse Christmas tree decorations we see today. Now let's turn our attention to the cozy image of stockings hanging by the fire. This tradition has its roots in a charming tale about Saint Nicholas. It's said that a poor man had 3 daughters for whom he couldn't afford a dowry. Saint Nicholas, upon hearing this, dropped gold coins down their chimney, which quite conveniently landed in the girls' stockings that were drying by the fire. And thus, the tradition of hanging stockings by the fireplace was born, with children eagerly awaiting small gifts tucked inside by Santa Claus. And who can forget the melodious tradition of caroling? This began as an Old English custom called wassailing, where people toasted to each other's good health. Over time, this evolved into people going from house to house singing or caroling during Christmas. Today, Christmas carols are an integral part of the festive season, filling the air with joy and warmth. Finally, let's not forget the tradition of mistletoe. In ancient times, mistletoe was seen as a symbol of love and friendship, which is why a kiss under the mistletoe is considered a gesture of goodwill and romance. These traditions, born from humble beginnings, have woven themselves into the fabric of our modern Christmas celebrations. They bring us together, create memories, and add a touch of magic to the holiday season. Behind every Christmas tradition lies a story, a history that makes our celebrations richer and more meaningful. From a contested holiday to a global celebration, Christmas has come a long way. In today's world, Christmas has evolved beyond its religious roots, becoming a universal celebration of peace, love, and goodwill. It's a season that transcends religious boundaries, uniting people from all walks of life in a shared spirit of joy and giving. Christmas, in its essence, is an affirmation of our shared humanity. It's a time when we pause from the hustle and bustle of everyday life to reflect on the year gone by and look forward to the one ahead. It's a time when we reach out to those less fortunate, extending a hand of friendship and compassion. In the heart of winter, when the nights are longest and the days are shortest, Christmas serves as a beacon of hope, a reminder that light always triumphs over darkness. It's a time when we celebrate the power of love and kindness to transform the world around us. The spirit of Christmas is embodied in acts of generosity, both big and small. From donating to charity, volunteering at a local shelter, or simply sharing a meal with loved ones, these acts of goodwill reflect the true essence of the season. Christmas is also a time for reconciliation, a time to mend broken relationships and to forgive past wrongs. It's a time when we are reminded of our shared human frailties and the power of forgiveness to heal and renew. The essence of Christmas today is not found in lavish gifts or extravagant feasts, but in the simple acts of kindness that we extend to others. It's about sharing our blessings and spreading love and joy. Christmas encourages us to be better human beings, to reach out in love and understanding, to extend a helping hand, and to make the world a little bit brighter. So, Christmas today is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a testament to our shared human spirit, a celebration of love and generosity that brings us together year after year.